Hey everybody, welcome back to the Carryandcut YouTube channel. If you're new here, I sure do appreciate you stopping by and watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, also leave a comment down below. It really does help out the channel. So today, I guess we can say it's that time again. We're going to be looking at another new knife to me. I guess you could say this is not my knife. This is actually going to be a giveaway winner. This was one of my friends from the channel, Loser. He won this knife from the Knight's Edge. Right there, Knight's Edge. He won this off one of his giveaway videos. This is pretty cool. This knife has a little bit of a backstory. I'm pretty sure this came from Mr. Eddie, I think. So that's another one of the YouTube guys that we always see on the popular knife channels, on his live streams, everything like that. So Mr. Eddie, I know he has a pretty good following. He has a massive knife collection. So I think he donated this one to the Knight's Edge, and then Lou won this from the Knight's Edge. But somehow down the line, Jimmy Crow ended up getting a hold of this one. And here it is with me. So I think Lou wanted me to do a review of this thing. So here we are. This is the CJRB crag. This is a different, I'm gonna say it's obviously the same model. This is definitely an older model, but it's still a very nice one, I could say. This does have some forced patinaed copper, like, shipwreck kind of copper scales on it. That was obviously not on there when they, the first, the knife was bought, I guess you could say. This is a aftermarket upgrade. And they do look really awesome. I'm not sure if Mr. Eddie did these or maybe Jimmy Crow did them. Not too sure on that. I think Mr. Eddie did these ones, but they do look really nice. I can see if we can get some close-ups on there. Really is pretty. And I'd say I have some overall specs from the knife from like Blade HQ, but I know the weight's going to be off. So let's just go ahead and going with this thing. First of all, let's just look at the blade right here. So it says it's a cleaver shape. It kind of reminds me of like a sheep's footy kind of ish thing, but I do see the cleaver shape in there, and it's going to be a high flat grind on this thing. We're looking at 3.5 inches on the blade length. Let's see if we can get it up in there all the way to the tip. We're looking exactly 3.5 inches. Actual cutting length though, we're looking at about 3 1/8 of an inch. 3 1/8, that's pretty much right on there. And let's see, tip to butt of the knife. Let's see the overall length here. So we are at just over 8 inches, probably 8 1/8 of an inch overall. So it's not going to be a small knife by any stretch of the imagination. I'd say this is going to be right there in that middle ground. I really do like this, forward finger choil there. I'm kind of partial to those. That's another reason why I really love Spyderco knives. A lot of them have that finger choil. It just really locks you in there. But this cleaver blade shape is going to be awesome for overall cutting tasks and just good stuff. So this blade is made from AR RPM 9 steel, so I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are going to be familiar with that steel now. It is a spray form of 9CR. That's kind of the basic of it. So it's pretty good stuff, especially for the, budget category. Really do like to see it. It's easy to sharpen, holds a pretty good edge, and is, pretty tough, and also, of course, stainless. So really can't beat it for the price of these things. I'm pretty sure these are under $40. I think I've seen them on sale for $33 on Blade HQ. But of course, with these scales, it's going to be a little bit extra on there. We do have T6 hardware all the way around. I think these did come in G10. I'm sure they have micartas and other stuff. I know some of them have different locks. So I've seen a recoil lock on there. Not really sure what this one is, but this is just going to be a liner lock. Of course, a steel frame liner lock. That does have some really good engagement. If you guys can see that, I'd say that's like 75% engagement on the actual blade right there. So it's pretty impressive. This one is a little off-centered. I'm going to do a disassembly and maintenance video on this thing to see if we can get that back over to center for him. I'm pretty sure this knife is going to be running on bearings. So it does feel like it, it feels real nice and smooth. Pretty heavy blade on it too. So this knife just has a whole lot of mass, especially with these copper scales. Definitely, and there's no internal weight relief, it looks like, on the inside of the knife, and no milling, at least that I can visibly see easily. So this is definitely a hard use, built to last kind of knife here. Let's go ahead and get a weight. I know it's kind of subjective and not really worth anything because it does have aftermarket copper scales on it, but we'll just go ahead and weigh it anyway. So we are 7.8 ounces. Say this is definitely not a light knife by any stretch of the imagination. Kind of reminds me, might not even be as heavy. I did have some brass scales on my PM2, and it's a nice hefty size knife, or at least hefty weight, I guess you could say. I do have another copper knife. This is the Ontario Rat 2. Let's go ahead and see what the weight of this thing is. I know the copper really does make a big difference in there. Zeroed out. So I know this, the Rat 2, I bet it's not even a 3-ounce knife, and right there we're coming in at 5.3. So it does make a really big difference when you're actually, you know, taking into account for that weight of the copper. So why don't we go ahead and do some size comparisons. Try to use some bigger knives, I guess you could say. So here is the Benchmade Presidio 2. This is, in my eyes, one of the most underrated Benchmade knives that is out there. A lot of people have never handled these, and they are exceptionally well. Great action, super tough, sturdy. So there's that one. Let's go ahead and go the PM2 route, might as well. PM2. And then let's go ahead and put the Para 3 lightweight in there, or just Para 3 in general. That's my newest one, the 15V Sprint Run, Big Brown Bear. So it's going to be smaller than the PM2, but of course yet bigger than the Para 3. Why don't we do one more? We can do the Spyderco Shaman to round things out. So right there, we are pretty much the same exact size and dimensions of the Shaman. Pretty much exact same blade length. The handle, I wouldn't say it's the same, but we're a little bit more on the Shaman. But the actual handle overall is pretty similar in size. And why don't we do the 940 just for good measure. Benchmade 940, that's another one that a lot of people know and love. And that's going to be pretty right on the money right there. So I don't know what else I really missed here. We got, of course, I already went over the Stonewash blade, AR RPM 9. We got a steel liner lock. This was actually manufactured in China. And I do have one more CJRB I guess we could take a look at right here with it. This was the Hectare. So this is one of their crossbar locking models. It is definitely pretty popular. I know this one was actually pretty popular too. And I do like it. I'm not the biggest fan of the metal, at least the different metal scales on it, the copper. It really does. I mean, if you're wearing some stout blue jeans, it wouldn't hurt you one bit. But this is definitely a heavy knife, and you definitely know it's going to be in your pocket. I do like the orange pivot collar accent on this thing. It gives it a nice little pop, some flair. We do have some barrel spacers in there, and we do have a deep carry clip. It is not inset into the scale, but we do have flush mounted screws. So that's going to be pretty nice, you know, in and out of the pocket. Shouldn't be getting hung up too much, but for the price of this thing, you really can't beat it. I'd like to know how much these actual scales were. I think I might need to do a little bit of research, but I'd hope to be probably under 50 bucks, 60 bucks or something like that. So you should still have, you know, around $100 knife right here. So not too bad, especially when you customize it yourself and do this awesome. I'm not sure what the actual process is of making this shipwreck copper, but it is pretty nice. We do have a lanyard hole back here for those folks that do like lanyards. This is not, I guess this actually is ambidextrous also, so that's nice. So I feel like this knife would be speaking out to my buddy Steven. He's loves lanyards and he's a lefty, so this would definitely appeal to him pretty well. I can't do it left hand very well. We do have a flipper tab for the only means of deployment there. I don't know if we can get a reverse flick off that. Nope, I can get a reverse flick on it. It's not really a fuller, but just the way if you get down on there, you can really fling that blade out. So yeah, overall, really do like it. I think it's a pretty cool design. I really do like the ergonomics of it also. You really have a lot of great access to the lock bar right there, which is super nice. You know, a lot of liner locks, they don't give you adequate enough, you know, room for the actual lock bar itself. One thing I can show you, this was a newer Blade HQ release. This is, I can't even think of what the name of this thing is. I think it was this Civivi Scintilla or something. But if you can see the difference of the actual, you can really see a lot of the lock bar on this one, and it's even chamfered, which makes it even easier. This knife right here, I know it does have some knurling on it, whatever you want to call it. I'm lost for words right here. Jimping. It has some like jimping on the actual lock bar itself, but there is really no access to it, and you really got to dig your finger in there. It does work. I might just be a little bit picky, but it's a good workable thing. But still, I like the way that CJRB has pulled this one off right here. It just gives you more access, and it's really not going to hurt anything. This would almost be something you could Dremel down and get rid of some of that scale and some of that liner to make it better for you, but you're really getting into some customizing there, and not everybody wants to do that. So that's going to be a win for CJRB. And of course, CJRB, if you not know, their premium line is Artisan Cutlery, and they just do a bunch of good stuff. So really do want to give a big shout out to let's say we're going to say Lube for sure, Knight's Edge, Mr. Eddie, and of course my man Jimmy Crow for making this video possible. We're going to do a disassembly maintenance video on this one next, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that one. And I really do appreciate you watching, and hopefully everybody had a nice Merry Christmas and have a Happy New Year. Thanks. Peace.